Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another SLG Meetup. Today I have the absolute pleasure to go all the way to London to talk to one of our favorite guests when it comes to real estate. His name is Alex Evagora. He's one of our members and a very successful super prime real estate advisor. He's gonna tell us all about the current market trends in the UK, more specifically in London, and what it is to be part of one of the most successful teams in the whole country, the team DDRE. There you go. What's up, mate? How you doing?
Here he is.
Very good.
Hey,
And you,
Alvaro,
Alex?
how are you? Very well, thank you. Nice to see
Absolutely.
you.
No,
Thanks
the
for having
pleasure
me.
is mine. And look, what a contrast, right? Like sunny, good weather here in Miami. And how is it over there in London? Oh, dark and wet.
Dark and wet
Cool.
and
Well,
cold,
listen,
freezing
there's
cold.
always something amazing
Yeah.
to do in London, which is why I really believe that the real estate market there is so amazingly growing over the past years. It's just that
What's
it's
that?
amazing. So I'm really happy to have you here with us today because I really want us to discuss what it is, not only to be part of one of the most successful teams in the whole city or country, I would say, but to also be working on some incredible deals and these incredible homes that we get to see through your social media. And I wanted to have a little bit of a summary on how somebody like you ends up joining one of the largest teams and does all these incredible deals in one of the most prime locations when it comes to luxury real estate.
Thank you, Alvaro. Okay, so I used to work at a big property company called CBRE, who I think are actually, you might know of them, they're based in LA, American company, you must know who they are. And I saw Daniel from afar. We got to know each other from Instagram. So we're probably some of the first two people in the UK to actually start posting real estate and documenting our days on social platforms like Instagram, Snapchat, and other platforms too. And we saw each other from afar. We DM'd each other, hey bro, I see what you're doing. I like what you're doing. Keep it up. And we built a rapport or a relationship
Nice.
over the DMs. And somebody tagged me when I was employed in a job in one of his LinkedIn posts saying that there was a vacancy in his team when he was at another big company as well himself, Knight Frank, who I think do a lot of work with Douglas Elliman or teamed up with Douglas Elliman, American firm. And I interviewed for the role, and that's where we probably got to know each other. So we had a tea, went to Chiltern Firehouse, had a good chat, it was a good conversation, and you could tell that our minds were in the right places or going. We saw that the industry was going in the same or similar direction, right? Social media was taking over the industry, and agents started using it to their advantage. We were starting to realize the power of social media, but our peers weren't so much. You've probably seen it. The UK is like backwards. We're so far behind
the US,
America and the way you guys do it.
Driven, everything is like boom, 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 especially personal brand as well.
It's amazing. I love what you guys are doing. We need to do it more here. I wish the agents in the UK embraced it more.
You're leading the way.
The way you guys do it. And you work collaboratively. Trying to. I mean, I like the way you guys work as well collaboratively with other agents. So you have buyers represented by buyers agents and then sellers agents, and they end up doing the deal together, correct? So that's something which is becoming more popular here, but we'll touch on that later. Anyway, so Daniel and I, the relationship sparked from then. Then when he went to go and start his own business, by that point I had my own business too, and he said I want you to come work with me, and so I did. And I left what I was doing, building my own brand, building my own company in central London, and I went and joined him. I realized that if I continued with my own brand and my own company, I would have got to maybe here. But if I joined Daniel, maybe I sidestep, but I can go further. He's introduced me to a world that would have been very hard for me to get into if it wasn't for joining him. This super prime world, the ultra high net worth community, the top 1%.
With moments like this, where there is this potential recession, uncertainty, a little bit of tumbling, how do you best promote yourself?
That's a very good question. How do you best promote yourself? keep telling people what you're doing. I think this is something that this is something I've had to learn. You've got to learn how to tell people about your wins without it coming across egotistical. Okay, like we just touched upon ego. So if you go onto somebody's social media profile, you might see, oh, we just sold this, we just let that, we just sold this, we just did that. Okay, that's cool, but tell us more about it. How did it happen? How did you get the buyer? How many properties did you show them? Did you show them 60 or 6? Was it really hard? Did you have to pay for loads of Ubers and then waste lots of money? Did you have to take them for a coffee? Were you introduced by a friend? Like, what was the process? You need to document your days and tell people more about what you're up to, and also add value. And they want to see the human side. They don't want to see sold.
The real estate market right now in London, how is the situation with everything that we're facing?
At the moment, a lot of the ultra high net worth community are away. It's January. People are still getting back into the swing of things. I think things are going to start picking up again in February, albeit we are still very busy. Even with the super prime rentals. So today I was showing somebody houses for £20,000 and £25,000 a week. So what's that?
Okay.
Around about £1 million a year in rent. So I do both rentals and sales. We were incredibly busy around October, November, and mainly because of the dollar. So as soon as the dollar holders, which is the majority of the ultra high net worth community, dropped by about, 30%? Essentially, people getting 30% discount on property in the UK. And where are they looking in the UK? Prime central London, super prime property in London. Who do they call?
There you go.
DDRE. So we were incredibly busy. There's 19 of us now in the team. We're blown up recently, and everyone's running around like headless chickens. It's good. It's good times.
Right. Okay.
And I think things are only going to get better, to be honest with you. I don't think, the interest rates haven't really affected our clients all that much. Not everybody is looking to get a mortgage either. Not everybody goes and gets debt. A lot of our buyers are cash buyers. So we haven't been that affected by that. And in fact, we've had a positive effect with what's happened with the dollar.
So in London, we started to see also crime situations going on. So what's going on right now there?
Yeah, it's no lie that there is a lot of crime, mostly watch crime. Thieves are after watches at the moment because it's an easy target, right? You see, when people come out their offices and it's dark at 4:30 p.m., 5 o'clock, so early evening time, around winter time, right? They come out of their offices, they're on their iPhones, texting, and their face is in their phone. They're not paying attention to what's around them. Some guy on their bicycle will come along and take their phone. Okay, fine, yeah. I think that's the majority of cities now. I was in Paris over New Year's Eve. Yeah, it does happen. I mean, look, I think COVID did this as well. COVID, and there's also the energy crisis going on at the moment. So it's made it's like poverty is high at the moment, right? There's a lot of people are struggling, which means that crime's going to increase. A lot of people are desperate. It's very sad. So in any major city, when that happens, when you have a super prime city or properties over 5 million up to 100 million pounds, you're going to have the ultra high net worth community getting in and out of their Rolls Royces. Right. You've got to have your wits about you anyway. I think this is going to happen in any major city, Paris, New York, Manhattan, London. It's bound to happen. You just got to keep your wits about you. It hasn't really affected the community. They might just ask to be in a building with gates. They don't get out of the car until the gates close behind them. So it might make properties with security increase in popularity and things like this. But so far, we haven't really had a dip in demand because
at the end of the day, as you mentioned, like those people that move from those major cities to another major city, they're all experiencing a similar situation. Yes.
Used to it.
But you touched base on something important: the security, the gated communities. So tell me a little bit about some of the super prime homes that you've been involved. Do you have any favorite deal that you've had?
So my favorite deal would probably be a rental deal I did during COVID. The tenant was on her yacht in the Atlantic Ocean at the time. And she called Daniel and said, Daniel, I need a mansion or a compound to rent when I get back to London, because I don't want to go back into my apartment in central London. We can't leave our houses when I get back. And I'm going to need someone with like a swimming pool where the kids can run in and out to a big garden, and somewhere near the central London. Anyway, it was a very cool search. And we got excited because we hadn't been allowed out of the house for a long time because of COVID. And Daniel and I, it was when we first teamed up together, right? So I've been with him for, it'll be 3 years in March exactly. And so we were going to Surrey, to Highgate. I don't know if you know these areas, but to the outskirts of central London. And we're looking at big mansions, huge mansions, 10,000, 15,000 square feet, with tennis courts, swimming pools, indoor or outdoor. One had a stable. It was ridiculous. And we were sending her videos and photos from our iPhones. And then she chose one, and we made a bid, and there was back and forth, and it was an interesting negotiation. And then we connected it with lawyers, and they ended up doing the deal. And then we didn't have very long to get the house ready. All right, because it's a rental and not sale. I had to be very much involved. And the night before she moved in, the cleaners hadn't done a very good job, so I had to get on my hands and knees and literally clean the floor and polish the woodwork before she arrived with her entourage the next day.
Wow. What is the true definition of luxury for you?
I think it's subjective. I had one client who said a separate kitchen to your living room is luxury. I'm not sure I'd entirely agree with that, but it could mean having staff accommodation and staff living in your apartment or your house and serving you, right? I think it's very subjective. My luxury could be different to a client's luxury. And I think that's why it's important when you're qualifying a client or a buyer or a tenant on what their perception of cool means. You know what? Actually, if someone does say luxury, and it's a very widely used term these days, especially in our industry, everyone's a luxury agent now. There is one house we're selling, which is £110 million guide price in North London. It's 30,000 square foot. And that is the definition of luxury.
What is something that you've learned over all these years in the industry that you're like, wow, this one thing is helping me progress?
It would be make friends and make many friends as you can. Your friends send you business, especially in the business we're in. It's the biggest asset in people's life. It's like almost the majority of their wealth is tied into this asset. And usually they don't Google to find an estate agent or go to the yellow pages. They'll ask their best friend or their accountant or their lawyer, someone they trust. Who do you know that's good in this industry? And then they'll refer you to their friend. Be a good person, be yourself, be genuine, don't lie, don't exaggerate, don't chat shit.
I love it.
Make
okay,
friends.
Wow, that's it. I made the list and I'm going to start putting it everywhere and tell everybody about it. No, but listen, Alex, I really appreciate your time. I know it's a bit late in London, so I appreciate everything that you've been sharing with us today. Everybody that is watching now or later, please make sure to follow Alex to keep up to date with his life, because as you said, it's all about documenting what you do on a daily basis. I call it the breadcrumbing, right? Like showing little pieces of what's going on throughout your day. And look, congratulations on what you're doing. Big fan of you guys, and good luck with all the projects. Hopefully you guys sell that $110 million pound home. And look,
I hope so.
Yeah, hey,
if you know anyone,
we'll
let me know.
Let's put it out there. Let's actually move it, and we'll make it happen. So thanks again, brother. I look forward to seeing you soon. Keep on crushing it. And anything else that we'd like to add before we wrap this up?
I think that's it. Do you have any more questions?
What's the gel that you use, man?
Let me know.
You keep your hair always so nice. I need to get that one.
I get that question a lot. It's called Fish. It's very, very strong. I've got this really annoying Greek thick hair, and it doesn't do what I want it to to. So I have to use this really strong
Hercules fish.
It's called Fish.
Like it. Come on. I love that.
Fish.
All
exactly.
Right, I'll look it up.
Thank you,
Alex.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you for having me.